Myself right up on out of here. I feel like a disgrace. I'm not really what I appear. I go home to my girl and I make nicey nice. The fact that she don't know that I just put someone on. I don't like being here. I constantly live in fear. Could be gone at any time. When you live a life of crime, you have to face the music to the time. I'm trapped again, and fate as always hasn't arrived again. I always get caught in my life of sin, but I just keep on going back again. You know I'm lost again, when all I wanted was to find a friend, someone that I can always depend on to help me find my life again. You know I'm trapped again.
Whoops. And that's mistake number one for this live show. Congratulations. Welcome, everyone, to Mayhemtainment Live. I am your host, JD. And sorry, I got distracted because I was looking at everybody jamming out to the music, especially Jaina Pryde, who loves our opening and closing theme music. Done by Marcus Frederiksen. Check out his music, reverbnation.com/Marcus Frederiksen, and share out your favorite song. We have a great roundtable discussion. Go Power Rangers is what this is titled. If you haven't figured out what we're doing, you have tuned into the wrong show. This is not going to be the episode for you. Introducing my roundtable. First off, newest member of the Brotherhood, the Mayhem Brotherhood, the founder of the Joe Monroe Show, Joe Monroe himself. Joe Monroe, welcome to not just Mayhemtainment, but to Mayhem Media, my friend.
It's great to be here, and it's great to be part of the Brotherhood. And a lot of people actually do not know this. I am a huge Power Rangers fan, so this is going to be fun today.
Absolutely. I have no doubt that everybody here is a good Power Rangers fan. Next up is the guy who claims he has the best beard in the podcasting business, though Joe Monroe would argue that point. He is from Friends of the Squared Circle, and he did all of the visuals that we are going to show today. So make sure you give him shout out for that and give him props for that, because we have a lot of visuals that we're going to get to, and he made them all. And it doesn't matter. You can shake your head all you want. You're going to get credit. CranderQ, Friends of the Squared Circle. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's my first podcast. I'm really excited.
Yeah. And no one's buying that. No one's buying that BS whatsoever. And of course, our returning champion, who was just in the, Apes episode, and then we did the Star Trek episode. Mayhem's first pick for referee, Jaina Pryde.
I'm confused, guys. When JD reached out to me about this episode, I thought he said it was Morbin time. I thought this was supposed to be about the second best Spider-Man film of all time, Morbius. It's apparently it was Morphing. Am I saying that right? Morphing time.
Morphin.
Not the drug morphine.
And this is about Power Rangers. Then I hear, okay, which I'm assuming is a spinoff from Walker, Texas Ranger. So I'll do my best.
Okay. Can't wait to talk about some Chuck Norris a little bit later with Jaina Pryde. That's going to be great.
Oh, man.
You know what?
Of course, I'm ready to talk Power Rangers. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, then let's jump right into it. We're going to do two right off the bat here, and we're going to do what did the Power Ranger? What impact did the Power Rangers have on you? And then let's also, and then we'll talk about what your first impression of the Power Rangers was. And Jaina, I'm going to have to throw it to you, being you are the returning champion.
So Power Rangers, like with me growing up, it was just like this fun. So when Power Rangers came out with me, I don't know like where you guys fall age wise, but like I was kind of like of the like just on the cusp, or like maybe I shouldn't have been watching it because I was maybe a little too old, quote unquote, right? But it was kind of like a transition superhero thing for me, where it was like these teenagers with attitudes. So I'm feeling like, okay, I'm a teenager. I've got some attitude, right? And it allowed me to kind of hold on to like all those cartoons and everything in a world where everybody was trying to tell you like, oh no, it's time to grow up. Let's start thinking about college, blah, blah, blah. So it was great. It was a reason for me to wake up. Our local Fox affiliate that carried it, it was on at like 6:30 in the morning weekdays once the initial season ran. And so it was just kind of like that great little fun, geeky way to wake up in the morning, eat my cereal at the breakfast nook, and get ready for school.
Excellent. And what was your first impression when you first saw the Power Rangers?
What the heck is this crap? Because even when it came out in 93, like you looked at it and it was so like just cheesy and hokey, and especially like with the origins with it coming from, which I'm sure we'll get into and everything, but like the footage from Power Rangers that was used in the original season was old already.
Mhm.
So, but then I actually like, suspended disbelief, and I allowed myself to like it and was like, all right, this is pretty rad. It's cheesy as heck, but it's rad.
Yeah, the characters is kind of what got me hooked initially. That's what I'll say about that. Is that I mean, I was a big fan of Jason, but let's save some of that for a little bit later. CranderQ, what impact did the Power Rangers have on you, and then what were your first impressions? And for our fans, our viewers watching, please leave a comment. We'll be happy to discuss your comments after each of us goes through these topics, these questions. So please leave a comment as well. We want to hear from the viewers. CranderQ, what impact, and then what was your first impressions?
So I don't know how much older Jaina is for me. We don't want to discuss that here. I was like blown away. I was probably in like 3rd or 4th grade. I thought this was the show of all shows. And my brother, thankfully to him, would wake me up to watch it while we had our cereal as well. And I thought it was amazing. I didn't know about all the old stock footage till much later, obviously, but I was blown away. I thought it was cool. It's, big old robot Zords, dinosaurs, which, we've done the Jurassic Park episode in the past. I was hooked. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. The impact it had on my life was just that first, I guess, drive to get the action figures and toys. And I know we'll dive into that more later. But for me, it was just so fun and nice logo, pal. So fun and surreal that I just looked forward to watching with my brother every morning while we had our cereal. So yeah, to me, it was the coolest thing ever.
So Joe Monroe, what about you? What was your first impressions of the show, and what impact did the Power Rangers have in your life, if any?
Well, I came in. I remember watching Power Rangers right when it was kind of shifting from Zeo. I think it was Zeo after Mighty Morphin. But I went back and was able to watch it. Some older episodes that came out, and believe it or not, the first people I seen was Bulk and Skull. Believe it or not, it wasn't a Ranger; it was Bulk and Skull. And I feel like those two have had a very heavy impact on me because I just like them, according to my wife. But my first impressions of the show, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And this was actually my first introduction to martial arts. So that sparked my love for martial arts film. I later went and watched, shouldn't have watched it as a younger kid, but Legend of Drunken Master with Jackie Chan and all that, like the older martial arts films. But thanks to Power Rangers, I was able to kind of transition into that fandom a little bit.
Well, since you brought up Bulk and Skull, I suppose we'll just transition to that. Who is a Bulk and Skull fan? Is anybody out there a fan of Bulk and Skull?
100%. Those guys were awesome. They are on my bucket list of celebrities that I need to meet because without them, like I just feel like the show wouldn't be the same. With them always trying to figure out, what the Power Rangers were up to, and just the cheesy combo was perfect, and I am a huge fan of those guys. They definitely need a little more respect on their characters because they were great.
I'll agree with you a little bit. I do think they were essential to the show, but I was definitely never a fan of them. I hated them all the time. I was not. And there we go. Our shout out to our Mayhem Media's graphic artist, Robbie H. He loves Bulk and Skull. So there you go.
So did you hate them in that you hated them because of like kind of like in wrestling, right? Like you hate a heel because you're supposed to hate the heel?
Yes.
Or did you hate the entire concept of them existing in the show?
No. I think that I definitely agree that they were essential to the show, I think. Okay. But I hated them because I was supposed to hate them. They were bullies. And I mean, come on. I mean, now I don't want to date myself here, but I was in middle school when they came out. So I was probably, if Jaina, you think you were on the little later side, then I was probably maybe right in that, I'm not gray area there where I'm not sure either. So I was a closet fan. I liked it at home when I was at home and no one was around. And when people would talk about it at school, I would not say a word because I was not going to be, there were kids who had Go-Go Power Rangers all over their stuff. I'm like, dude, you're just asking to get shoved in a locker. I don't want any part of that. Yeah. So right.
I feel you on some of my fandom with that. Yep.
Yeah, so. I was not an open fan of theirs, but I know Bulk and Skull, though, I think they were essential, but I mean, I hated them. They were bullies, and that was always a problem that I was always constantly dealing with. So I hated them for that reason. Like, I mean, I was supposed to. It was exactly what I was supposed to, but yeah, I hated them. In hindsight, they're absolutely essential to the show. You can't do the show without them. They provide so much comedic relief and a little bit of stuff in between when they're not in their Power Ranger suits.
I mean, for goodness sakes, they stayed on for years, transitioning into different Power Rangers, no matter who it was. I mean, I think they stayed on until, what was it, Galaxy?
Okay,
they were on for a long time. Yeah,
they were essential for a very long time. But yeah, I agree with you. At first, I thought, well, these guys are jerks, but then as the series moved on, you just can't help but love them.
Oh, did they stop being bullies later on, Joe? I'm the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm very familiar with, but when it gets beyond that, so did they stop becoming bullies later on? That's what our
basically, yeah,
is saying.
Yeah, you'll see a little bit of kind of like a character development, let's say, between those two. So it's pretty cool. I mean, they still kind of act like jerks, but not as bad as what they did in Mighty Morphin. But just to see them kind of grow out of that bulliness as they get older is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And they also have a bulk food company. They're successful businessmen these days.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, true story. It's canon. In Power Rangers Once and Always, the anniversary movie that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah,
there's like a little sign. There's like a billboard for their bulk food company.
That's awesome. I know they were at a Comic-Con recently, and I didn't get to go to that one. It would have been fun to meet those guys.
I want to give a shout out to The Breeze. The Breeze is in the house. You can check out The Breeze on our sister show, the Boiling Point podcast, on Ms. Paws Becoming a Father. She was just on camera for the first time, and she kind of took over her husband's show, and that was pretty cool too. So check that out. It's about becoming a father, and that particular episode's about becoming a mother, not becoming a father. So make sure you go check that out. And we're going to have to give Mike D and Wrestling from the 313 a shout out. He's here watching too. Thanks for tuning in, man. And Robbie H getting involved in the conversation. They were security guards at one time. Is that how they evolved them beyond the high school thing?
Yeah, they were security guards. I want to say, didn't they end up becoming cops at one point during the transition to Turbo?
I don't know much after that. Guard. That's when I kind of lost interest because people kept changing.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the favorite, your favorite Ranger. I'm looking for that particular visual right this second. And, or did anybody want to have any follow-up on Bulk and Skull?
No, I'm good.
I just like that Skull's last name was Skulovich.
Yeah, that was great. All right, who is your favorite Power Ranger? Let's kick off some debate here and really get things cooking. Viewers, leave your guess I get tongue tied. Leave a comment while we're discussing this, and then we will include you into the conversation as well. And of course, Robbie H says he stopped after the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I didn't really watch much after that either, so I'm with you on that. Joe, why don't you start this one off? Who's your favorite Power Ranger?
Who's my favorite Power Ranger?
Yeah.
Oh wow. The obvious answer is Tommy, but I was actually always a fan of Zach.
Okay.
Ooh, Black Ranger. Yes, I think that.
I think Zach's just a tidbit underrated and underappreciated, which is why I love the Once and Always special that they had on Netflix, because it featured him and Billy. Sorry, Crander, I don't mean to, spoilers alert.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
But yeah, I mean, Zach's probably just a little bit above Tommy, but Tommy kind of had a bigger impact on me because I was one of those kids that actually had the instruction video. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
I had the instruction video and was trying to learn martial arts as a kid, thanks to Jason David Frank, who played Tommy Oliver. So it's a tie between those two. I can't decide between those two. Maybe Zach just a little bit, just because he's underappreciated.
I would agree with that. He's actually absolutely an underappreciated Ranger in the original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. I'll agree with that. Before I throw it to Jaina, did anybody know that Zach was missing a finger?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Yep, some of us knew that, and some of us did not.
I think that's why he holds his morpher a little different than most too.
Never noticed.
Yeah.
Jaina, who's your favorite Ranger?
Kind of like Joe was saying, the obvious answer is Tommy. And I think a big part of that is because he was featured so prominently. He was kind of forced down your throat and into loving him. For me, though, it was Billy. I loved Billy there. Because he was the geek. He was the nerd. He's always coming up with these cool inventions and everything. But he could hold his own in a fight when he had to. And he
later
also
on,
fought,
in later seasons.
Huh?
In later seasons. I mean, in the suit, yes, he turned into a badass, but he was never a fighter. And that's one of the things that I kind of liked about Billy too, was his evolution as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You and I talked about that in another episode. But it wasn't until how many seasons was it till he was fighting putties outside of the suit, when they were just, fighting without the powers.
Yeah, well, seasons get a little fuzzy when it comes to Power Rangers, because they were 30 episodes in a season, and then
Yeah,
I think
I always remember
around the time that Adam, Rocky, and Aisha came in, that Billy started to kind of step up and be like, okay, well, I'm the OG now, so I'm gonna start show them, don't run away, right?
Yeah, good answer, Blue Ranger. CranderQ.
Blue Ranger all day. Billy was my guy, just because he was kind of nerdy, and then those first few episodes where they're encouraging him that he could, do those things. So I like the Blue Ranger all day. So
I did not like that he was so scared outside of the suit. I really wanted him to get some confidence. So when he started actually fighting the putties, that's when I became more of a Blue Ranger fan. I'm more of a Billy fan.
Hey, Crander, you kind of look like Billy.
Yeah, glasses, nerdy, scared of everything.
No, not
I wore
really,
a darker shade of blue because I couldn't find my other blue flannel, but had to represent Billy today. So,
and according to the fans, it's Green Ranger or Green Ranger and White Ranger. Except we do have a vote for Yellow Ranger.
Trina, yep.
And then we're going to give a shout out to Ryan Mosley, who's joined us on this. We appreciate that. And Mike D's laughing. We appreciate when Mike D has some fun. Now I'm going to give my answer, and I'm going to disagree with the whole panel, and I'm going to say something that
I know what you're going to say.
Agree with. The original leader of the Power Rangers, the Red Ranger, Jason. He is my favorite Power Ranger.
It's crazy how that graphic is lined up with that.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know. It's almost like you had someone guiding you.
It's like you must have made it or something.
No, I definitely did not. See the logo up in the corner? It's still sitting there. We're 21 minutes in. Did you see that?
Yeah, but it says Mayhem Media on the bottom of it, so I don't know. I don't know what to believe. The internet's fake.
You're right about that, because I can't stop you from making them. But So yes, Red Ranger. That's my answer. I'm who's not a fan of Tommy, right? I mean, who's not? I mean, I was a fan of the Green Ranger. I was not a fan of the White Ranger. Sorry, I did not like him as the White Ranger. I thought that the whole White Ranger concept, it's like, wait, they all have dinosaurs as their Zords, and now all of a sudden there's a white tiger. What is that, and how does that fit anywhere?
Hang on, time out. Time out. It's Saba. Get it right.
Saba, and I'm not a fan of Saba either. I was telling Jane about this in another episode.
I love Joe's cat.
I don't get.
How dare you, sir?
I don't get the sentient sword. Did this sword exist beforehand? Did Zordon and Alpha just create the sentient sword out of nothing? I never got the sentient sword. Never was a fan of Saba or the White Ranger stuff.
Time to show my nerdy side here, JD. Hang on. Time to show my nerdy side. It was actually developed during the White Ranger after they were trying to get the Green Ranger's powers, which ended up, making the White Ranger, which therefore made Tommy the leader. So Saba was created during that said time.
Nerd.
There you go.
Thank you for clearing that up. That this doesn't help me like Saba. In fact, that makes it even worse. They created this artificial intelligence sword. No, I pass. Not White Ranger's cool, but no, I didn't get the Tiger Zord, and Saba was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in a TV show.
Hey, listen, I know he's a fat cat, but quit picking on him.
Was he just like, but I don't know. I could see that happening. I mean, they already have like a dragon that you control with a flute and a robot who runs a command center with a couple of saucepans on his head.
Hey.
Listen, Ryan Mosley.
With the tiger on the sword, that's a step too far for JD.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, it is. Yeah, that's where I have to draw the line. It has to be drawn somewhere. That's where I chose.
Hang on, I'll be right back. Hang on, you're going.
So listen, Ryan Mosley, I don't know what's happening with Joe Monroe. Oh, he's going. I know what's happening with Joe Monroe. Ryan Mosley, if you ever confuse Tommy and Jason again, you'll be banned and blocked from commenting on this page. Just kidding. But don't do that ever again.
So can I dig into this hatred of the White Ranger a little bit more just for a second?
I'll tell you exactly where it comes from. It comes from because he just usurped Jason, the Red Ranger, as the leader.
That's where I was going.
When he announced him, I remember watching that as a kid, and he said the new leader of the Power Rangers. I said, "What? That's a BS."
Apologize now.
Joe Monroe's cat is named Saba, if anybody needs to know. And Mike D, I get, Tommy was. They did make him the leader, and that's the problem that I have. That's why I'm a Red Ranger fan. I don't like that he was usurped.
Oh man. Oof.
Look at this.
Green Ranger, that's the thing, Jaina. I'm a huge fan of Green Ranger. Huge fan of the Green Ranger and the Dragon Sword. I love that. Especially the shield, having the different Power Ranger with like the shield across his chest and stuff, and the dagger with the flute. Who didn't like that?
I think I could give the shield to somebody if he needed to.
Robbie H., you're about to be fired. Don't try not to argue with the boss. He was
JD. He is giving you the stink eye.
I don't know. Listen, we could say that we got to see Jason and Tommy fight to a stalemate in that episode where Rita put him under a spell and they hated each other, and Zordon was like, "No, work this out." But that's it. They fought to a stalemate. No, Tommy was not more powerful than the Red Ranger. They were equals at best. And I agree with you, Ryan. I understand that. His name is Jason, even though he's the Tommy and the Green Ranger, and Jason the Red Ranger. I understand.
So,
hey, I'm not firing you. I would never fire you. You're too valuable.
Time out.
Oh, this is a cat show now. Mayhem Media.
Apologize.
I'm not opening the door for my 3. I'm sorry.
He wants you to apologize. He knows you offended him.
There's nothing wrong with you, Saba. Just the sword, Saba.
Did we clear that up finally? No.
That's the problem I have.
But doesn't he not look like the sword Saba in the face? That's why I named him Saba.
I think you all are out of your minds.
All right, go on, buddy. Go on.
Well, we were already talking about it, so let's talk about it. Leave a comment if you haven't already. White Ranger or Green Ranger? I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna say Green Ranger because he's the cooler Ranger. He's the better Ranger. Crander, you go first on this one. I'll let you go.
If we're going off of which one we like better, I'm probably gonna pick white only because I prefer white to green color ratio wise.
Out of your mind.
But just on base color, I'm not basing it on anything other than that. I don't like what everybody else likes usually when it comes to wrestling or movies and stuff. I like to be a little obscure and different. But if I'm picking what color I would prefer, I'm just gonna go white because I like that color combo. That's
Jaina,
the only input I got on that one.
Jaina, white or green?
I'm going to be sassy and say both. Lord Drakon.
Yes.
All right, well, she's
Yes.
changing the rules.
I know we're just talking about the TV show, so if that's the case, I'll say Green Dragon or Green Ranger.
The
Jaina,
Dragon
he's
Lord.
canon. Go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, Lord Dragon. How can you not go with like evil Green Ranger turned up to 11?
Oh, dude. I mean, yeah, his original, dude. When Rita made him the Green Ranger with the dark sword, dude, that was some cool stuff there. I thought, oh man, the Power Rangers met their match, and it looks like most of the people agree. Joe Monroe, white or Green Ranger? Oh, put the screen up. Oh, Green Ranger. Okay, so we have you beat on this one, CranderQ. The consensus is
I just picked off of what color I would wear before anything. Green's not really my thing.
I completely understand.
Even though I will say the White Ranger design is pretty awesome. I do like the design of the White Ranger outfit, but the OG Green Ranger gets a little bit overshadowed by the White Ranger, I think. That's just my person.
Robbie H, thanks for tuning in, buddy. We appreciate it. All right, let's move on to the next topic here.
I liked the way that the Dragon Zord,
let's talk about that, actually. Good. Thank you, Jaina.
Oh, Zords?
Do you who likes were you talking about Zords or the sword, Jaina?
No, I was gonna say going with the Green Ranger real quick. I really liked the way that the Dragon Zord combined with the Megazord and with the Tyrannosaurus and everything. That was cool. The way that they
the
introduced
Megazord,
those
what is it?
and I thought that it did a better job
Ultra
of that
Megazord?
than White Ranger.
What was it? The Ultra Megazord or the Super Megazord?
I
One
don't
where the
remember,
Megazord,
but then the whole thing was right on Titanus.
Yeah, and then they ride on Titanus. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was the good. That was great. I love that too. Green Ranger for going with the other foot, like with the Megazord, and then going with that would be my favorite Zord, the Super Mega Ultra Zord. Actually, if memory serves, what it was called when it was riding in Titanus. So that's what I'm going to choose for my favorite Zord. But if I had to choose an individual one, I would probably have to go with the Dragon Zord. Jaina, why don't you go first? What was your favorite Zord?
No, same Dragon Zord. I mean, he looks like souped up Mecha Godzilla. First of all, dude's got a drill on his tail, like that's pretty sick. He's also got missiles in his fingers. Plus, he's nigh indestructible. Like, it's awesome. Everything about that thing was just great.
Yeah,
and the design just looked really cool too.
And yes, it did. Yeah, it really did. And then he could freeze things. His breath was like a frost breath instead of like flames or whatever. That was pretty cool.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. CranderQ, you're shaking your head. So what's your favorite Zord?
See, I loved elephants. I've always loved elephants. I've got multiple tattoos of elephants. I gotta go.
Mastodon.
I gotta go with the Black Ranger Zord as my favorite individual Zord. Just because again, I liked elephants, but again, Blue Ranger, Triceratops. Those two are my favorite. And then when they did that, the Power Ranger movie, a couple of those did stand out. I did like the gorilla one. I thought that was kind of cool. The bear, the wolf, but OG gotta go Black Ranger Zord just because it's an elephant in a sense, being a mastodon, and the Sabretooth too. That was always a cool dinosaur, prehistoric animal. So probably those three: yellow, black, and blue would be my favorites to kind of.
Okay, Joe Monroe, I'm going to get to you in just 1 second. I just wanted to follow up with CranderQ on one thing. I think the problem with the individual Zords, that's why everybody chooses the Dragon Zord, is because Dragon Zord by itself is
definitely. There's no way mine's going to survive anything, but
the Tyrannosaurus,
being my favorite prehistoric animals, they don't stand a chance. But
yeah, they're cool. But the Dragon
I'm still taking those.
Yeah, Dragon Zord really had it by itself, absolutely. And the ninja Zords were awesome. And Jaina, maybe we can find a compromise here. See, once Tommy becomes the Falcon Zord, totally, it's much better. It's much better as the White Ranger. It's the Tiger Zord and Saba that I'm not getting. I don't buy it, and I just don't get that part.
See, that's why you just need to, accept our Lord and Savior, Lord Draken, also, because he just straight up cuts the head off of Saba. Spoilers, kids.
Joe Monroe. All those movie Zords were pretty cool, minus the frog.
The frog was pretty cool.
It's the lower end, but I loved all of those new ones. Like the animals were sweet, the bear, the gorilla, the wolf. I always thought those were pretty badass. So.
I'm surprised you didn't go with the wolf since that was Billy's.
Well, yeah, I like it, but I'm going to go with animals that I liked as a kid before I pick color. So.
Okay, fair.
It would totally be the blue mastodon if I could pick. Straight up. So,
what's your favorite Zord, Joe?
I can't narrow it down.
You have to. You're on a podcast.
Well, I'm sitting here fighting with myself. I love the Dragon Zord, but I also love the saber-toothed tiger, the Tyrannosaurus.
See,
the mastodon. Then you get to the films, which is still in the Mighty Morphin.
I agree with Mike. Yeah, Red was. Yeah.
You know what? I'll say it. The heck with it. Tyrannosaurus. I love the Tyrannosaurus Zord.
Yeah, he was before the Dragon Zord got there. If I had to pick an individual Zord, it would have been the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I think absolutely.
All those OG ones are great. Yeah. I would just switch color combos because I got to be difficult. But yeah, the OG. What's that?
The one thing that always really bothered me with the Zords in their original incarnation was that they were called dinosaurs, right? But you had a mastodon and a saber-toothed tiger.
All right. You were too old then. Everything was cool.
I'm kidding.
Don't use your teenage brain. Just unplug it for a bit.
Let's do one last about just the Power Rangers, and then we're going to open it up to get into some villains. Does anybody have a favorite female Ranger? I'll go first. I have to pick the Pink Ranger. I love Trinity. I'm sorry. I loved her, but I have to choose Kimberly, the Pink Ranger. Jaina, let's let you go first. I'm going to let Jaina go first on this one.
Of course, the only answer is Catherine Hillard.
Who?
The second Pink Ranger. Come on.
Yeah, second Pink Ranger.
Okay.
Got a podcast about Power Rangers, Crander. Keep up.
I'm going OG Mighty Morphin Power Rangers here. So
she was a Mighty Morphin.
She was Mighty Morphin.
Really?
Yes.
I must have missed something at the end there.
When Kimberly left the show, Catherine Hillard, the Australian Pink Ranger, came in.
I did not know that. I must be behind on the end of it. I must have missed some of the episodes at the end then. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and she was the Pink Ranger then that was in Once and Always. Canonically, her and Tommy end up with kids, and they end up together.
Oh, poor Kimberly. She gets screwed out of it?
Yeah, screw her.
That's terrible. Who cares? All right, who cares? Jaina says, who cares about her? So we'll move
she
on.
She had her chance.
I like the first Pink Ranger, so the one that Jaina wants to throw out the door, that's who my pick is. Do you have a favorite female character?
Was that me or Joe? I was laughing too hard. Sorry.
Joe. I think you already said, didn't you already say the Pink Ranger too, right?
Nope.
Oh,
nope. Well, I would be the second Yellow Ranger for me. I liked her.
Yep. Aisha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, what's your pick?
Trini. Hands down.
Trini the first Yellow Ranger, yeah.
Yes, hands down, without a doubt.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Yes.
Mike D, Kimberly, and Aisha were his favorite.
Listen, you gotta pick one, Mike.
I'm just like I am against the White Tiger Zord and Saba. I am just as prejudiced against the new three guys that came in, Rocky, Adam, and Aisha. I'm not a fan of them because I was a fan of the originals.
Yeah, I was upset about it too, but then I grew to love the second Yellow Ranger.
But for some reason,
give me what I know. Stay off my lawn.
For some reason.
Jaina's making all the great clips for social media.
She usually does. That's why I bring her on.
What was that supposed to mean?
I think you heard what I said. All right, so let's open it up now. And does anybody have a favorite character, including villains or anybody? Do you have a favorite character? I'm still going to go with Jason. I'm still a fan of Jason. I'll pick my favorite monster when we get to that visual. But Jason would still be my favorite character. So Joe, who's your favorite character?
Okay, you know what? The heck with it. Alpha.
Alpha 5.
You know, come on. Who doesn't love Alpha?
No, I'm not. I'm just doing the voice because I think he's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Then second would be Ivan Ooze.
Who?
Ivan Ooze.
Oh, Ivan Ooze. Oh, come on.
Yes.
No, oh, come on. Jaina, save us.
I loved Ivan Ooze. The heck with you, dude.
High five.
You took my answer, yo. No.
That's your answer too, Ivan Ooze?
No, come on. There's really only one character that's the best character in all of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and that's Ernie.
Ernie, interesting.
If Ernie didn't exist, it's arguable that not only would the Power Rangers have never maintained their close friendship together and been the team that they were, but Angel Grove, the entire Earth may have ceased to exist, and it may have been taken over by the evil forces of Rita Repulsa. Lord Zed wouldn't have even had to come by in the first place. If Ernie's juice bar didn't exist, guys, therefore Ernie is the best.
She has a point.
I mean, that's a great pick.
That's a valid
Mike D
point.
likes Lord Zed. CranderQ, what's your pick?
So my favorite characters were like Billy. I loved Goldar. I thought he was super cool looking. So those two, and then obviously I gotta go with Zed too, or Ooze, not Zed. Ooze definitely. Yeah, I liked him a lot.
Come on.
And his little henchmen were like those big, raven looking things. Of course, they were pretty sweet. So
and he had the perfect one-liners too.
The Raven-looking things were an interesting upgrade from the Lord Zed putties. Like that was interesting to see that, but still no. Did anybody have a favorite monster? Let's go. Let's Crander. We've been kind of keeping you in the middle. Let's let you go first.
Yeah, that one. That's why I told you to put that on the graphic. I always thought he was kind of cool. Big old pig with a Roman hat. The one with all the eyes was pretty sweet.
Great analysis.
And what's that?
I was just telling Mike D. Great analysis.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, some of the monsters were horrible, but there were a lot of creative ones. Oh, back to characters real quick. It was the guy that made the clay monster, before he sent it down. Yeah, I liked him a lot too. I thought he was unique looking as well. But probably the monster with all the eyes, the big pig. And then there was one other one in there that was a bird. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, those were my favorite monsters. I thought they were pretty cool looking.
Shout out, Jaron. Thank you for tuning in. And the EP or new vice president's in the house. He'd like to have a relevant and groundbreaking comment for us, but he just was never able to get into the Power Rangers. So we'll make fun of him as an outcast and, what would have happened to us when we were in high school if we would have mentioned it.
Anybody got a locker we can put him in?
Yeah. Mike D, Scorpina. I listen.
Oh,
I wouldn't want her as a monster. She would be a character.
True, and I would like to change my answer because I think Scorpina was my favorite villain, or maybe we didn't get to favorite villain yet. But Scorpina is one of my favorite characters, definitely. I really liked her, and I thought it was so weird and cool how when she got to the big size, when she became big, she became like a scorpion-looking monster and wasn't just human-looking anymore. I thought that was so interesting. So I was definitely a huge Scorpina fan. But did everybody go? Joe Monroe? Did you tell us your favorite?
No. You
All
guys
right, then you go ahead.
You guys are going to laugh at me. Commander Crayfish.
I don't think I remember who that is.
I think I vaguely remember that one. Yeah.
Commander Crayfish was the leader of the Mutant Rangers.
Okay. Nope.
No judgment here. No. I won't judge you on your monster picks.
Drop some knowledge real quick. Hang on just a second. He led the Mutant Rangers, which was a great feat for the Power Rangers at the point in time. Also, that's one of the very first episodes that I watched, so he stands out in my mind.
Yeah, I don't remember that much, but like Jaina said, I don't have Netflix, so I can't watch the old Power Rangers. Sorry, now you can tell I'm starting to get a little tired.
Dude, I got the DVD box set. What are you talking about, Netflix? Come on.
Well, mail it to me.
Okay.
No, you're not going to mail me the box set. That's what I'm saying. That's why I need Netflix, so I can watch it.
Yeah, Joe, just give me your streaming service stuff.
No, Crander, I'm not giving you anything. I'm still mad.
I don't want it. I have Netflix.
I'm actually going to choose one that was a formidable one for the Power Rangers. I mean, actually, my first pick is going to be the Green Ranger, the evil Green Ranger.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think that was huge. The whole Green Ranger miniseries was amazing. But other than that, like a monster, I would have to choose the Dark Knight. I don't know if you guys remember the Dark Knight. His sword burned out their weapons.
Okay.
Like it made them all black and stuff. It made them all black and burned out and stuff. So that was one of my favorites because it was, they were facing something who was, whipping their butt. And that might have been the Dark Knight might have even been one of the ones that destroyed the Megazord one of the times, if I'm not mistaken, actually.
Yeah, I think there's a whole webpage too. If anybody's interested to search out, that'll give you what episodes and stuff they're on. To see that stuff, and they got little pictures of all of them too. That's kind of how I came up with the idea. So yeah.
I got it bookmarked. Hang on.
And I always liked when the Megazord would when the monsters when they would get big and then when they would actually be formidable and like beat the Megazord. Like I always kind of like to see the Power Rangers face adversity. Like, oh man, what are they going to do? They've got somebody who's whipping their butt all over the place.
And there was always that cut scene where they're like jumping because they're getting thrown out of them. But I was
right.
When they fall and stuff,
just randomly jumping out of, that's funny.
Well, let's stay on villains for a minute.
I didn't get to give my own.
I'm sorry, Jaina. I'm slow. I'm getting ahead of myself. Please. What was your favorite monster?
Shell Shock.
Okay.
Because he's like a turtle with a traffic light sticking up out of his back. It was ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
I remember him. Yeah, I remember him. That's a good one, though. I also kind of liked. Do you guys remember it was like the frog-looking one that ate all the Rangers except the Pink Ranger? It was a Kimberly episode, and she had to overcome her adversity or whatever because she was scared about gymnastics, and the whole episode was centered around her being the only Ranger left.
Okay.
So I kind of liked him too. Again, when the Power Rangers got like manhandled, like when they got handled, those were some of my favorite villains. And I always liked when the Power Rangers beat them too. I was always excited when they overcame after they were getting beat up.
Wasn't there a monster at one point that was basically just Frankenstein?
Yeah, I can't remember.
There was a lot of different monsters.
Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah.
This one alone. Look at this one alone.
I love that one. I would get that tattooed on me. It's so funny.
That's crazy stuff.
What about Dramo? Do you guys remember him?
Mm-mm.
No.
Wow. I do not remember him. Does anybody want to make a pick on the most formidable opponent for the Power Rangers? Viewers, if anybody has any picks on that too. Let's see. We got some comments coming in. And then we'll get to that question. Oh, our Ms. Payer says he's married to someone who loved the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The Breeze, a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan. No wonder she tuned in.
I mean, shout out to Rita, though. She dressed like a boss. Look at her. I mean,
yes. Jaron, I'm pretty sure I have that name right. Please go and look it up, and you can check me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure it was the Dark Knight, I thought. But I couldn't.
I'm sure it's not Dark Warrior.
Dark Warrior, maybe. I could have sworn it was Knight or Knight something. So if it's not the Dark Knight, I do apologize. Yes, and that's great that the Breeze is a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan. Does anybody? Let's move on to this. The most formidable opponent for the Power Rangers, I would again say the Green Ranger. That would be my pick because I love the Green Ranger series.
I mean, Ivan, he took their powers and they had to get new Zords, so. There's that. Yeah, Ivan's sweet.
I have a question. Yeah. Maybe one of you guys. What's the Power Rangers movie with Ivan Ooze? That wasn't how it happened in the series, though, right? That's not how they got the ninja coins. They wrote a whole different thing for how they got the ninja coins in the series, right?
Yeah, I mean, so the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie is basically non-canon. It's just kind of its own little separate adventure.
Yeah, even though they kind of followed that and then gave them different Zords like the next season after the movie came out, right?
Yeah, and there's all these behind-the-scene reasons for that. But
yeah, marketing is what it is. Marketing and merchandise. But so, I mean, you're right. Ivan Ooze did it, but there was another, they had to do that before. There was another time that they've had to get new Zords in the series, in the canon. So that's why Ivan Ooze is kind of there, but I get it though. I mean, he was strong. They did make a whole movie about him. So I do understand that. Jaina, you have a formidable villain.
I mean, the biggest ones that people would think about probably, I would say, would be like, Goldar. He was pretty powerful. Like when he got sent down, stuff was about to go down.
Yeah, and they never could defeat him either.
Right. Yeah. But if we're going by the definition of most formidable, it would have to be King Mondo and the Machine Empire. And I know we're getting into later stuff and everything, but yeah, like,
But that's okay.
Yeah, because like they were the ones that were like, Zed was afraid of the Machine Empire.
Yeah, Zed. I mean, I think Zed, Rita was a bad enough villain, but when Zed came in, it was like, oh man, stuff's about to, get real now.
Yeah,
he just looked awesome too. Like he looked scary.
No, I don't like how they just got rid of like all of Rita's henchmen just disappeared after Lord Zed came in. Like the dude who made the monsters, there was no more need for him. Like some of the other,
still there though.
He was there once in a while, but they never really like. He didn't have a purpose after that. After Lord Zed made his own monsters, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's funny. I was just watching the wedding episodes today. As I was getting ready for the show, and yeah, when Rita comes back and the garbage pail, lands back on the moon finally, and Finster's the one that gets her back up to normal size and helps her, with the love potion so that she can entrap Lord Zed and become his bride and everything.
Yeah, that was a good series too. I hated that because I did not like Rita. I liked Zed, and I did not like seeing him becoming, coming under Rita's thumb. I was like, dude, you're powerful, and she's got you, and you're screwed.
So you must have loved how its story ended, huh?
I'm having trouble remembering how the story ended. Apparently there's some stuff at the end that maybe I don't remember. I'm honestly not entirely sure that I even remember the ending anymore.
Joe, you want to take this one?
No,
let's
go ahead, Jaina.
If we're going to do the ending, then let me bring up that. Where is the ending one? That's the one he put Goldar on. Goldar is I love Goldar. I am a huge Goldar fan. I love that Lord Zed gave him his wings back.
Yay!
And made him formidable. But so what did you all, the viewers, think of the ending of the show? And with the original cast, I liked the original cast, so that's my answer to that. I don't care how it ended. I wanted the original cast to end it.
So how dare you skip me, JD?
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry, dude. Dude, it's 3 people, man, dude. 3 people. It's hard to remember where we're going and what we're doing. The conversation's going all over.
No, how dare you? No, I'm going to make my own putty army to come after you now, and they're all going to be shaped as Austin Diamond. That way you can at least have a fighting chance.
All right, let's go back. Dude, I will take an army of putties. Just don't send me any monsters. All right, so what villain do you think was the most formidable to the Power Rangers? We'll go back to that.
It's a tie for me. I agree. I think Lord Zed was very formidable, but I have to say Tommy, when he became the Green Ranger, which was the evil Green Ranger, was very matched with them. Especially later, what was it? They had the green candle, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was it was very deep in lore with him. So it's a tie between those two.
I like those answers. And now that I got Joe, let's move into the next thing now, and how it ended. So leave a comment if you would like to say how it ended. I honestly don't think that I remember how it ended anymore, so I'm just gonna have to throw it to you guys, Jaina or Joe.
It never really did.
Who wants to go first?
It don't matter, Jaina. Whichever.
Go ahead, Joe.
So what happened was just a little
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
30 years later.
I think it was something along the lines. I could be wrong. Jaina can correct me. It was Jason, Trini, and Zach. It was something to deal. Was it like a Peace Corps type deal or something?
That's when they went away.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, are you talking about like how the original Mighty Morphin ended? Or
yeah, the ending of the show. Yeah, the show itself.
Oh, going into Zeo, was that the next one?
Whatever the next one was.
That's the thing. I don't think you could really say that Power Rangers truly ended.
No, they still continued on. They still had a story. It's still the same. And that's the beauty about Power Rangers in general. There is some continuity up until I want to say It could be Power Rangers in space, maybe. I'll have to go look. It's
There's
been a while since I binged. Go ahead, Jaina.
There's 2 seasons that are alternate universe, with all of the different incarnations of Rangers and everything. I forget which ones it is. But there's actually like connective tissue with the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and even the most recent season of Power Rangers that's on Netflix right now. So yeah, that's why I say, like, I don't think you can say that Power Rangers ever really ended. Like, yeah, it changes every time, but it's all kind of just the continuing story.
So how did the show end? Then? And then what does anybody remember what the next series that picked up, and how was the transition handled from these Zords to like police cars or whatever the hell the next thing was?
So no, that's not what the next thing was. The next thing before, you're thinking of Turbo. Turbo was the third incarnation of Power Rangers. I want to say it was Zeo when he had Power Ranger 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. That's when I want to say Tommy was the 5-star Red Ranger. Am I right? Was that the Red Ranger he was? That's whenever Tommy became the Red Ranger. I think so.
He's even stealing Jason's gimmick. Come on.
Hey, Jason became the Gold Ranger, and we can all say the Gold Ranger was badass. Okay, there you go. Jason had a little bit of redemption for me when it came to that.
Yeah, a little bit.
I guess if you were to say that like there was an actual ending to like the Power Rangers that we're talking about today, like you could consider it like the Zordon era of Power Rangers, because like eventually, like through all of the different Power Rangers things, I don't remember which one it was in, but like basically Zordon like sacrificed himself, and then there's this big Z wave of energy. And like
in space, that's what
was
it was.
it?
It was in space, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like that Z wave, in addition to a lot of other things, purified Lord Zed
and Divatox and all the big baddies, even Rita Repulsa. It's actually a really good episode.
I also didn't realize that they like flowed into like the same universe, like it was a carryover from one to the next. I didn't realize that they actually like made that part of it.
Yeah, because even in God, what was it? Was it Turbo that Adam used his old morpher, or was it? Oh, no. One of the later seasons, like it stayed consistent with each other, even some of the newer stuff, because you had Jason making an appearance with the power cord from the Tyrannosaurus, even though I thought him as the Gold Ranger was better, but that's hearsay. But you have consistency, especially with Jason David Frank when he came back for what was it, Dino Thunder? Was that the name of it? Where he came back as Professor Tommy Oliver. Weird. But he had the episode where he had to face, because he was the Black Ranger at the time. He had I think it was like a dream sequence or some type deal. He's in some kind of coma. I could be wrong. But he had to face every incarnation of Ranger that he was. And even the White Ranger and the Green Ranger made an appearance. So the consistency with the Power Rangers as it grows is pretty awesome. And that's why I think it has such a big fandom. And I think that's why, I can now watch it with my kids, because I still geek out over Power Rangers. I'll go ahead and say it. I do. I love it. Once and always. That special is true.
So good.
Oh, yeah. That special was great.
That's why I got to Netflix briefly so I can do some so I can rewatch it and watch the new series. Is that an ongoing series, or was that like a one and done kind of a thing?
It was a one and done thing. Sadly, I wish it was a full series, because that would be great.
Okay. Well, they're supposed to be coming out with like new Power Rangers series on Netflix. Like, so after the current run is done, I guess they're supposed to be like relaunching some things. And I think at the same time that like Billy, I forget his name off the top of my head, I'm having a brain fart, but like he's been working on series stuff too that he's been trying to pitch to get launched for a while, and it's kind of like more of the continuation type stuff.
Yeah, I think he's trying to continue on Mighty Morphin, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he, Jaina?
Yeah.
For where Once and Always left off. And I think if they went with that route, my goodness, that would be great. They have a good story there, because it was literally kind of a passing of the torch in a way.
Yeah.
How they would handle Tommy, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible too. Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, White Ranger, many other different Rangers.
So I don't know.
Happened.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't know if we're gonna get into this a little later. If we are gonna, please cut me off. But I know that like I mentioned, there's gonna be like some reboots and some things down the line for Power Rangers in the future here. Now that Netflix owns the IP. And one of the things that I would really like to see, I think I said this on one of the other shows where we might have been talking about it at one point, is I would like to see 2 versions of Power Rangers come out from Netflix. I would like to see one that's for us. We're the people that watched it as kids. We are passionate. We want to see a continuation of those stories. But let's just reboot it. I'm going to say it. Just reboot it. New actors, bring in new stories. You can tell some of those same stories in a new way. Like if you looking at some of the comics, how they do some of those things. I want to see a version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that's tailored to us as adults who have the money to spend on it now.
Yep.
Now I hear what you're saying, but Jaina, the toy market. So since that it's Netflix, they always have these like just low rent CGI cartoons on Netflix. Some of them are good when they partner with DreamWorks, but put out a cartoon of Power Rangers 2 that's meant for kids to sell toys. Put out an adult version of Power Rangers that's meant for us to sell really expensive collectibles to.
Like how you call them collectibles and not toys for you.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Standard.
Once you become an adult, they're called collectibles, not
in my world.
It's easier to deduct them on your taxes for stuff like this if you call them collectibles.
Dude, you have a show called Show Me the Collectibles, so I don't want to
Never heard of it.
All right, let's do some more of these screens real quick before we get ready to move into the end that CranderQ made for us. Did anybody read any of the comics?
Oh,
and has anybody met any of the cast?
Sadly, no.
Crander,
okay, from that picture, I hate CranderQ even more.
CranderQ, why don't we let you go first since you're featured in one of these pictures?
I mean, can we just start off with that guy's got like an amazing beard on the right? That's so cool. I've met Tommy, Jason, I guess, as well as the Blue Ranger and Pink Ranger. I took my niece. She was mad at me that I took her in the lines to see those because through me, she, developed a fandom of many things that I like. But I got her to meet both of those. Pink and Green, and then as comic book wise, never read any. I like comic book movies and all that stuff, but I don't read comics, unfortunately.
Wow,
unless it's Sunday Fun Days, those are the ones that I read. Sunday paper ones, those comic strips. So,
Jaina, what about you?
Yes. So I've never met anybody. But with the comics are so good, and I think that's where I get a lot of the I want the gritty for adult reboot, because a lot of the Boom Studios stuff is exactly that. It's retellings of a lot of the things from Mighty Morphin, and it's doing it in kind of a darker, grittier way. Not necessarily darker, grittier. That makes it sound like Zach Miller was taking over Power Rangers and they're going to suddenly start murdering everybody. But just more realistic, basically. Not the cartoon that was Mighty Morphin. But also, if you're going to read just one Power Rangers comic to get your feet wet, I'm going to recommend this one right here, which of course combines two great fandoms, and it's not going to show. Oh, there we go. Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles.
That actually is great.
So fun. It's so fun.
Just real quick before I get to Joe Monroe, I would like everybody to stick around after the post credits, if possible, so that we can discuss the next episode if we want to do it, and maybe Turtles will be the one that we do, because I would love to do a Turtles episode. Joe Monroe, what about you? Well, let's talk about. Have you read any of the comics, and have you met any of the cast?
Unfortunately, I have never met any of the cast. I was set to meet Jason David Frank. Then what happened, and that's the second time I ever cried. First was Eddie Guerrero, then Jason David Frank, to my childhood heroes gone. But comic book wise, we talk about Lord Draken, Rise of Draken, great comic. Then you go to Shattered Grid, then you go Beyond the Grid. Those in order. If I'm not mistaken, I could be out of order, but I think that's how it goes. Those three comics, it's like Jaina said, it's more kind of a grittier, adult themed Mighty Morphin Power Rangers setting, but the storytelling in those comics is mind blowing. And honestly, I think Jason David Frank, because of those comics, wanted to play Lord Draken, because there was a what was it he did? It was some kind of mobile game. What was it? He actually
Battle for the Grid.
yes, thank you. He was Lord Draken there, and when people seen him as that, they were like, "Oh my God, yes, we need a film immediately," because an evil Tommy Oliver just looking back, going beyond the grid, trying to take over the whole grid. Tell me that wouldn't be an awesome movie.
I mean, I think he plays a great villain. Like I said, the Green Ranger, the first time he came in as a villain, was perfect.
You know, if we're talking about like some of the comics and those continuing stories too, I'm going to drop a link in the chat here for the live fans. Crander, I know you said it failed to post. Anyway, I'll put it in the comments later. But you know, I know you're mentioning not really, reading many of the comics or anything, but there's a fan-made Power Rangers audio drama podcast that's come out over the past few years, and it's based really largely on a lot of the Boom Studios comic books things and everything. And I'm gonna say kind of a hot take, and maybe this is because of the ages where I'm trying to consume both of them now. But I think it's a better version of Mighty Morphin than the TV show.
Wow. That's saying something.
I mean, you had a great idea with, doing one for adults and, the cartoon. The cartoon would, get them newer fans as well to keep the legacy alive. I mean, when you think Power Rangers, you always go to the original, and that would be a great way to keep, this first incarnation in the U.S., alive and well. Because I've seen some of the Japanese stuff, and or Chinese, Japanese, not sure who made it, but like, it's pretty intense when you see their version of it. But yeah, I mean, I'm all up for listening to podcasts after, the apes. I just dive into things hardcore, so that one, I think I went too far.
No, it was good. That was one of the great. That was one of our. That was a really good episode. Everybody go check out the apes. And everybody go follow us we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Rumble. You can follow me on Twitter, JD at Mayhem Prez, if you want. And please share out things, like things, give our episodes a watch. And I'm going to turn it over to CranderQ for a minute. We're going to show. This is your collection of toys, right, CranderQ?
No, so I reached out to my friends, pun intended. Buddy of mine collects the Funko Pops, Jared. He's into the Funko Pops. Me, I love the flip heads that you see there below. That was my favorite toys, were the flip heads or the McDonald's toys. You can see that beautiful display. That is from Joe from the Summit. He is a huge Power Ranger fan. He has almost every helmet, almost every weapon. Fury as well. Those guys, their gear is inspired by the Power Rangers. And shout out to Jason Yerke for sending me his picture of all the Power Rangers, signing that beautiful picture, as well as Oliver Williams, a friend of Mayhem Media as well. Got to meet the Blue Ranger, got a picture with him, got an autographed helmet. And then that's just fan art that again Jared provided that he had. I didn't have time to clip all the other stuff in there for the other ones, but those toys and collectibles. Just in the 90s, Netflix has a show, The Toys That Made Us, and those toys that came out of the 90s were selling so fast, it was unbelievable. And to this day, they still hold a high price tag, and they're recreating a lot of those in smaller figures, as well as re-releasing them kind of like the Ninja Turtle line. So you're able to get them now as an adult. Not the same quality, but they're reproducing them, which is great. So shout out to the friends and the other collectors out there for providing us some images there to get broadcast, as well as meeting the cast. There's Fury there down with Jason, the Red Ranger, me with the Pink Ranger. And then as you can see, I did all of them, minus the White Ranger because Tommy is the Green Ranger too. But those are some friends, the Yerke boys. My buddy Brian was Zach there, but everybody loved Power Rangers, and that's just a true sentiment of the people out there that support our shows as well as support the Power Rangers. So
shout out to Oliver Williams too. We'll give him a shout out.
Join the Mafia.
Yep, the Mafia. I think I just went through all the visuals. I don't think I have any more visuals to go through. So is there anything else that anybody would like to talk about regarding the Power Rangers?
Can we just say? Can I say something without trying to cry?
Yeah.
I will say that Jason David Frank, who played Tommy Oliver in all incarnations of the Power Rangers series, did leave a huge impact on a lot of people's lives, myself included, because as someone growing up, I thought I was going to be cool like Tommy, but I ended up being a nerd because I love Power Rangers and voiced my opinion. Heck,
You're really a Billy.
Yeah, I had a Power Rangers backpack in high school. What's that tell you? Yeah. Go ahead and judge me. Go ahead and judge me. I dare you. You'll get a chop. You'll get a chop from me like Crander once.
I'm the boss. I'm not gonna get nothing.
But you know, Jason David Frank, and this will go back to mental illness too. You know, if you're struggling with something, you know, reach out to somebody, reach out to friends. I mean, this is why I love doing this, because I'll go ahead and say it. I do kind of struggle with mental illness. And then I started doing this, started meeting a lot of friends, and I do consider you guys family. Jaina, this is the first time we met, and you're cooler than Crander already. So you are now part of the Monroe family. I'm kidding, Crander. But you know, just how like the fandom that he kind of led that fandom for a long time.
Yeah.
Even doing like fan stuff like Superpower Beatdown. For those that don't know what that is, go check that out. There's one with him going up against Scorpion, and there's another going up against Ryu.
Dude, that is so amazing. That is so awesome, dude.
Those episodes are amazing, and they were one. And the guy who's over that Bat in the Sun did a fan film with Jason David Frank, and they wrote that. They even wrote a sequel, but Legend of the White Dragon, that's the name of it. I haven't got to see it yet. I really want to see it. But you know, just the love he had for the series, it amazed me, and I think he knew the impact so much. So after he passed away, his daughter took up the mantle of going to these.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, representing her dad and dressing as the female Green Ranger. That's why I would think if they continue on the Ranger legacy, kind of like what they did with Once and Always, I would love to see his daughter take up the mantle of Green Ranger if she wanted to.
Oh, me too, Jaina Frank. Yeah, I would. Yeah, if she wants to be a Power Ranger, if she says out loud, "I want to be a Power Ranger," there better be someone working on it right now, because absolutely she should be able to carry on her father's legacy. And I agree with you. Hold on, I'm going to come back to you, Bree, in just a second. I also do agree with you, Joe, about mental illness. You know what I mean? If you're suffering from mental illness, reach out to someone, get some help. Okay, you don't have to go through it alone. Don't do it by yourself. Okay, there are people. You're going to leave a lot of people behind. Trust me. So don't do that. That's not the way to do it.
And like I said earlier, that's the second time I cried over somebody I didn't even personally know, but I felt like I did just from watching Power Rangers. I'm almost 30 and I still watch it. I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe when I heard what had happened. I couldn't even believe it.
Yeah, I couldn't either. Then that just got me. Actually, that was kind of one of the things that helped, reached out and wanted me to get help. Because I do suffer from depression and stuff. But I'm like, you know, my hero suffered, but you know, he didn't have to do it alone. And that kind of made me want to, you know, be like, okay, maybe I do need to reach out for help.
Yeah.
So in a way, he kind of still helped me in a very strange way. Does that make sense? Am I making sense with that?
Yeah, yep. I understand what you're saying.
So with that, you know, I want to thank. I wish I could thank him in person, Jason David Frank, for one, making Power Rangers freaking awesome. I mean, come on, Tommy freaking Oliver, the Green Ranger and White Ranger, going on to be a Red Ranger, then being a Dr. Tommy Oliver, then just I can go nuts with Rangers. That's why I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But him specifically, and now the actor, I can't remember their names. The guys who play Billy and Zach, they're kind of taking up, you know, everybody loves us. Let's show fan support, especially with Once and Always. They realize it, and I know from conventions I've passed by them. I have seen them. I just was too scared to meet them. Much like how CranderQ wants to meet Goldust, I would be speechless. Sorry, Crander. I I had to use you as an example.
Hey, it happened. I was there.
But I would be speechless. Like, these people were my childhood. These were the people that got me into martial arts when I wanted to be, cool. And I thought this was cool, but I lived in freaking BFE, Kentucky, and nobody else watched Power Rangers but me, apparently. So,
Well, now you're with us, and we've all watched the Power Rangers, and we're all fans.
Yeah, and now my kids watch it. My kids watch the Power Rangers now, and my son absolutely loves it.
Bree commented that she also liked the Power Rangers game for the Super Nintendo, and I definitely remember Pogs, Bree, and I don't know that I had any Power Rangers one. I might have had the Green Ranger one. I definitely didn't have the White Ranger one, but it's possible I may have had a Green Ranger one. But I don't know if I had too many Power Ranger Pogs, but I do remember Pogs.
I have a couple of play-ready tubes of Pogs.
Oh my goodness!
You do?
I do. I swear.
I think Pogs need to make a comeback. We'll talk off camera about my idea there later.
I don't have money for Pogs. I can't collect Pogs. Listen,
I'll send you Pogs. I'll send you Pogs.
I play Magic the Gathering. That's the most I can spend money.
That's why you don't have any money. You buy too many cards. I will send you Pogs.
Oh, it's disgusting. I have a real problem. That's why I can't pick up Pogs. I have a real problem with Magic the Gathering, and not just the cards. For some reason, I own like 7 of the play mats that you lay down on the table. Like I'm one person. I'm one person. I have 7 play mats.
You have a problem, JD.
No, I stopped it. Now. I went cold turkey. I'm fine now.
He's one day sober with Magic.
You don't want this? You don't want this at all?
I had a real problem. No, I still buy cards. But I also sell them too. Like when I have too many, I'll go through and pick a bunch out and be like, and then now, of course, I absolutely use that money that I get from selling them to buy more.
Wasn't there a card set for Mighty Morphin at one time?
I believe so, yeah.
And there was also, oh my goodness, gold books. Memory unlocked here. Do you guys remember the gold books? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
They were they were children's books. The gold books.
Oh, the little golden books.
Oh,
golden books. Thank you. The golden books.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had Mighty Morphin. I think it was a golden book. It was either a golden book or it was one of those cardboard books that we used to have as kids. You got memory core unlock, right? I used to have quite a few of those when I was a kid of Mighty Morphin. I want to say my dad still got one of them somewhere. I need to go see if I can get that off of him. But just the Power Rangers craze, especially in the 90s, was man.
Power Rangers Pogs.
There was a clay set where you could form the Power Ranger into the mold, and then when it hardened, you could paint it to your specific color and stuff. And I found one at a thrift store a while back. It was like $15. I'm like, I really wanted this as a kid. I should buy it now, but I don't like starting new collections until I finish what I got going on the other stuff. But the Fliphead Rangers and the McDonald's toys from the movie are definitely on my list of things to get here in the future. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Does anybody want to give any last thoughts on the Power Rangers before we close this episode out?
The new movie that came out 2018-17. Did anybody like that? Was anybody a fan? I thought it was too long.
I didn't like how they portrayed the powers.
Yeah, it was a little sketch. Okay, I'm not alone then. But I will say this and put it on the internet because I have to clown on my niece. We went to that movie together because, I'm the funkle of the family. And she cried when the Blue Ranger died, and she will never live it down. I'm putting it on the internet so it'll stay out there forever. That Allie cried at the Power Ranger movie when the Blue Ranger died. You're welcome, kid. I love you.
Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad because your uncle is
a jerk.
Scared. What?
I'm a jerk.
No. What are you scared? What was it you were scared of? You said in one of the episodes that I couldn't believe it. I can't remember.
I think it was like Magic the Gathering or something that I said that I was afraid of.
I know what he's afraid of. Scared to talk to Dustin Rhodes. There you go. That's exactly what he's afraid of. Sorry, Crander.
No, E.T. Just remembered it. Your uncle is afraid of E.T. So don't.
How do I leave? How do I leave this chat?
You thought I was gonna forget, but I remembered it at the last minute.
I will throw up on camera.
All right. Please don't do that. All right. So we're gonna close this one out. please visit Jaina Pryde. She's available on Facebook. Jaina, where are you available? Tell people where you're available. You can also go to the description. Everybody, Joe Monroe, Jaina Pryde, and CranderQ, all of their stuff is available in the description, but I want to give them a chance to say it too. So, Jaina, you go ahead.
Best place for me is to go over to jainapryde.com. That's Pride with a Y, just like one of the best X-Men ever, Kitty Pryde. It's got links to all of my socials. If you're interested in booking me to come out and referee for your wrestling organization, there's links there. And we also just this past week launched 2 new Jaina branded t-shirts. So you can check those out at jainapryde.com, Pride with a Y.
And of course, hopefully, maybe soon you will find her on some Mayhem Media programming as well. I mean, other than just being a guest, we're
rumor mill's buzzing.
We're trying to get her to be a host of a show, like maybe a once a month thing. We're discussing it yet, so we don't want to move too fast. She's got a bunch of commitments as well. She's got a family and stuff too. We all got jobs and families and stuff, so. But yes, thank you, Jaina Pryde. And of course, please stay after the closing credits as long as you have time, so that we can discuss what we want to do next, what episode we all want to do next, or what topic.
Yeah, I just have to pee after this. But you can cut that out,
well,
right?
We'll be off the air. We'll be off the air. No, I can't cut it out right now. We're live.
Oh, so everybody knows I have to pee. Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? You're also not alone in that, and you're also not alone. So I'm right there with you. CranderQ, where can people find you?
I gotta go next.
Circle. He makes the visuals.
Well, it's your boy CranderQ, aka my real name, the #1 beard in podcasting. Don't listen to Joe Monroe. I am on Facebook as well as YouTube. You can find us there. And if you are a collector, check us out on Show Me the Collectibles. You can show off your collection. It does not have to be wrestling related. You can come on and talk about your toys, because what's more important than bragging? Nothing. As well as, I am the #1 beard in podcasting, so I will give it to the second place beard, Joe Monroe. It's your turn.
Joe Monroe, the newest member. Yeah, he gets to make fun of you a little bit, but then I get to give you the right introduction. And now I'll throw it to the newest member of the Mayhem Media Brotherhood, host of 2 fantastic shows, the Joe Monroe Show and the No Cell Roundtable. Make sure you look for those on social media as well. Joe Monroe, please tell us where we can find all your stuff.
Let the #1 professional bearded podcaster talk here.
Never said I was a pro.
Yeah, I'm a pro, so hush. Now, so the No Cell Roundtable, let me give a shout out to CranderQ. He's the one that kind of helped me come up with that, and also came up with the design, as well as the background for that. So definitely thank you, Crander, for that, my friend. Also, thanks to CranderQ, I wouldn't be able to meet these fine people, JD and Jaina, because if I didn't start talking to Crander, I'd never have met JD or Jaina. But you can find me on Facebook. We are almost to 600 followers. I think we're like 585 or something like that. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers by June. I don't know if we can make that mark or not, but hey, we can still try it. Also, we just reached over 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel. So just to announce, especially right here, we are going to be hosting I just put this on the calendar, JD. You can kill me later. We are going to be hosting yet another trivia night, a wrestling trivia night on. Nope, not that day. Nope, not that day. There we go. On May the 7th, that is not this coming Tuesday, but next Tuesday, we'll be having a special live when we're going to do that. So that would be live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can also check me out on Instagram and TikTok while it's still up. Hopefully it stays up. I love TikTok. And just remember, I'm the #1 bearded professional podcaster, unlike CranderQ. That is all.
And now we'll go to the host with the most, the mouth of the South, the man who runs everything, the guy who's everywhere. Myself, JD, the president of Mayhem Media. Make sure you look for us next weekend. We're going to have Professor Bear on an episode. Make sure you look for us sometime in the month of May, where I hope to have all 3 of these fine people back for another roundtable episode. I'm hoping that we're going to be doing Star Wars, but we're going to talk and see what exactly we're going to do. We're available on Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook. All you have to do is search Mayhem Media Inc., and you can find us anywhere we are. And our storefront, bonfire.com/store/JDE Designs, We're still under the JD Design storefront. That's with a Z at the end of it. I am probably going to launch Mayhem's own storefront at some point in time since we're growing so big now, but I'm not prepared to take on 3 storefronts. So for now, it's just 2. So look for JD Designs. That's where you can find all the Mayhem Media stuff. Look for new designs to be coming out on our storefront right away. Marcus Frederiksen is going to play us out. He does all the music here, every episode of Mayhemtainment. Make sure you go share out your favorite song of his, reverbnation.com/Marcus Frederiksen. For the number 1 indie referee in all of wrestling, Jaina Pryde. For everybody's favorite friend and everybody's favorite graphic producer, CranderQ, Friends of the Squared Circle, and the newest member of the Mayhem Brotherhood, founder of the Joe Monroe Show and the No Cell Roundtable, Joe Monroe. I am your host, JD. That's the end.